Hey everybody, and welcome back for a first look and complete swatches of the new Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar Palette. This actually smells like chocolate. It's amazing. This is the outer packaging. It looks just like a chocolate bar wrapper. It's kind of paperboard material. And then inside the palette, you'll actually get a how-to glamour guide. So it's this little piece of paper that you can kind of fold out, and you can actually see 3 different looks that you can create using the palette. So that's kind of a neat thing for them to have thrown in there. Now let's get a quick look at the palette overall and all the shades. You can tell that they went with the same layout as they did for the original chocolate bar palette, but we have obviously different colors here. So we're going to go ahead and do swatches now, and I'm going to start with the top row. And you can actually see how these would perform if you were using a brush on your eye. Now I'm doing these on my arm with no primer whatsoever, with my brush swirled 3 times, and then I'm going to go back and forth over the swatch 6 times. Now with some of these colors I felt like they needed a little bit of extra building up, but I tried to keep it pretty honest, just what they look like. So the first shade there was called Licorice. That's the dark matte black. Next is a big coconut cream. This is one of the highlight shades that is a double pan size, pretty much my skin tone. The next shade is called Nougat, and this is another matte. Now this one I did feel needed a little bit of building up, so went ahead and did a second swatch over the top of that one. And then the next color that we have is called Truffled. This is more of a deeper brown. It's definitely a warm brown, just like Nougat was pretty warm, and it's also a matte. The next color is called Hot Fudge. This is a shimmer finish, and this one's definitely more of a cool toned brown, and it has, I think, more of like rose gold shimmers in it. I went over that one a second time just to see if I could kind of true up the color, and you do see the fallout. I wanted you guys to be able to see that. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead with the second row. So we are starting out with Cocoa Chili. This is another shimmer shade. This one I felt went on a lot easier and with a lot more pigment. I don't know what that was, but this one's almost more of a matte with actual glitters inside, but very fine glitter. Next color is called Pink Sugar. This one for sure is different than any of the others. It's definitely more of a shimmer. In the pan it kind of looks like it's going to be a light pink, but in actuality it's more of a glitter. So if you want to throw glitter on anything, you could do that. Next we have Puddin', and this is a matte brown, pretty much like Hot Fudge without, or excuse me, pretty much like Truffled without that super warmness to it. So I went over that again, did a second swatch on top of that. Next we have Blueberry Swirl. This color surprised me the most out of the palette. I was expecting it to be a lot more pigmented. I don't know, I mean I assume that they were meaning that to be more of a just sheer over color. I don't know how to describe it, but this one is definitely a lot less pigmented than I would have liked. I did go over that again just to try to build up some more of the blue, but I think that it would need a little bit more working with. Next we have Peanut Butter, and this is a matte. This is probably the color that stands out the most to me in this palette. I think it's really pretty, and I think this would be a really great contrast with blue or even green eyes. Any eye color really, but I just think it looks really cool. And I did do a second swatch over that just to see what it would look like built up. Now I ran out of arm, but the last one in the second row is called Frosting, and this one is a shimmer. Now for the bottom row, we are starting out with Rum Raisin, and we'll go across. So Rum Raisin is more of a mauve toned shimmer. I would call it a mauve brown shimmer. Next we have Mousse, which is a matte brown. I would say this is sort of in between Nougat and Truffled. Next we have Caramel. This is a shimmer. This is definitely a very warm toned, kind of a gold shimmer shade. Almost has a little bit of orange when it's actually swatched. Next we have Bon Bon, very similar to caramel once it's applied on the skin, but it's not so orange tinted, it's more of a pinky shimmer. And then our last shade in the palette is called Butter Pecan, and this is the second highlight shade. It's the second double pan size, and I actually really like this. It's a lot less, it's not like a super glittery highlight, it's just a really nice shimmer, and I think it's an excellent one to have in here. I like that they had both a matte and a shimmer highlight. So here is a look. I divided out all of the colors that were matte. From the far left, the lightest, which is coconut cream, and then the far right is licorice. So I've got all the mattes, and then I went ahead and did the same thing with the shimmers. So we start out with Butter Pecan, and it goes all the way out to Hot Fudge at the end. I experimented here with Blueberry Swirl using primer on the bottom, no primer on the top. Same thing with Pink Sugar, no primer on the top and primer on the bottom. And that is my swatch and first view of the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar Palette. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and also subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more about this palette and more upcoming palettes like the new Tarte Matte one. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye guys!